Let us continue with past examination question on advance ruling. Examine whether a person resident in India can seek advance ruling from the authority of advance ruling. As I told you, when originally advance ruling authority was created, it was created only for non-resident. But over the period of time and by multiple amendments, now even resident can apply. I hope you remember where resident can apply. Clause number 1 was exclusively non-resident, so obviously you cannot refer that clause here. But in second clause of applicant, if you remember, a resident can apply in respect of the tax liability of a non-resident with whom he is about to, he has already transacted or he is about to, transact some business transaction. So here there is a resident can apply for the determining tax liability of a non-resident, because obviously a resident will be subject to TDS provision. The third one was resident notified by the government, large corporate if you remember, where the transaction value exceeds 100 crore. The fourth one was pendency. Do you remember pending cases? Cases which are pending in relation to the resident which is notified by the government, and that was public sector undertaking. So that was also resident. And in point number 5, we have discussed about impermissible avoidance arrangement, IAA. Here applicant can be resident or non-resident. So except clause number 1, all the 4 clauses you can see now resident can go and apply. You understand this? So they have written this in detail. I'm just ignoring that. So please read it once. I have already discussed it 2 times, so I'm not going to waste time in reading line by line answer. So here, transaction exceeding value 100 crore. Here, if the case is pending, this is for public sector undertaking. If the case is pending, resident falling in the category notified by the government. Next one, public sector company. A resident can make application for determining the tax liability of a non-resident. This also we have discussed. And you can also check for impermissible avoidance arrangement. Next question. A non-resident made an application to an authority for advance ruling on 2nd July 2020 in relation to a transaction proposed to be undertaken by him. On 31st August, please understand, within 30 days you can withdraw. Within 30 days, that means till 2nd August you could have withdrawn, but this is on 31st August. He decides to withdraw the said application. Can he withdraw the application? So your answer should be no. Application can be withdrawn within 30 days from the date of application. But however, I have told you one case of M.K. Jain where authority has power, not applicant. Authority may permit you to withdraw the application based on justifiable causes. Look at the presentation of the answer. Section 245Q of Income Tax Act provides that applicant who has sought for the advance ruling may withdraw the application within period of 30 days from the date of the application. Since more than 30 days have elapsed since the date of application by Q, the authority for advance ruling, he cannot withdraw the application. That's your primary answer. However, is very, very important. However, authority for advance ruling in case of M.K. Jain has observed that though the section 245Q provides for that application may be withdrawn within a period of 30 days from the date of the application, this however does not preclude AR from permitting withdrawal of the application even after the said period if the circumstances so justify. Let me tell you one hidden point here. They will allow you to withdraw the application, but they will not refund you the fees. Fees will be taken by the department, obviously, because they have invested their time on that. Examine when can advance ruling pronounced by the authority for advance ruling be declared void. Obviously, if you should remember 2 words, fraud and misrepresentation. And then what are the consequences? Consequences are very simple. They will assume that ruling was not given to you. It is deemed that ruling is not given. As per section 245T, an advance ruling can be declared to be void ab initio by the authority for advance ruling if on a representation made by it made to it by CIT or PCIT, or otherwise it's fine that the ruling has been obtained by fraud or misrepresentation of the fact. Therefore, all the provisions of the act will apply if no ruling has been made. A copy of such order shall be sent to the applicant as well as Principal Commissioner and Chief Commissioner, Principal Commissioner and Commissioner of Income Tax. This is very important question of advanced ruling chapter. This type of questions are usually expected in exam. Usually once in a 3 to 4 year, this advanced ruling question comes in exam. Mr. Barlam is a non-resident. Okay. The appeal pertaining to assessment year 1920 is pending before the Income Tax Appellate Tribunal. The issue involved being computation of export profit and tax thereon. Okay, the matter is pending. The same issue persists for the assessment year 2021 as well. Mr. Barlam brothers, Mr. Krishna has obtained an advance ruling. So Krishna has already obtained the advance ruling under chapter 19B of the Income Tax Act from the authority for advance ruling on the identical issue, exactly same issue. Mr. Barlam proposes to use the said ruling for his assessment pertaining to the assessment year 2021. Can he do so? The primary answer will be definitely no. He cannot do so. But look at this. As per section 245S, the advance ruling pronounced under section 245R by authority for advance ruling shall be binding only on the applicant who had sought it and in respect of specific transaction in relation to which advance ruling was sought. Apart from this, it is also mandatory by the department that they should be bind by the advance ruling. It shall also be binding on the PCIT and CIT and the income tax authority subordinate to PCIT and CIT for the specific transaction. In view of the above provision, Mr. Barlam cannot use the advance ruling obtained on an identical issue by his brother Krishna for assessment year 2021. But can court, obviously the binding, this particular advance ruling is not binding on ITAT or court, but can they use for a reference? Definitely yes, they can use for the reference, because here also we are having a very sophisticated body and people, very highly qualified experienced people who had given the judgment. So court can always make a reference to the advance ruling. Reference is not a problem, but it's not binding on them. Though the ruling of authority for advance ruling is not binding on the others, but there is no bar on tribunal taking a view or forming an opinion in consequence with the reasoning of the authority for advance ruling dehoes the binding nature. Okay, so it is not binding on them, but definitely they can take the reference, and it was taken in the Madras High Court Shekhar Trust. Thank you.